Hello my friends, it's been a long time since my last lens review when I talked to you about the Panasonic 35-100mm f2.8 micro four thirds lens. By the way, you can watch that video if you press the link on the upper right corner of your screen. So, I decided to give you my 2 cents about the Sigma 16mm f1.4 MFT lens. At the time being, the lens costs €399 as stated on the German version of the Amazon website. In the Greek market, you can find it at a price starting from €361. The Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens was originally designed to fit the Sony APS-C E-mount but has since been adapted to a micro four thirds mount, weighs about 405 grams, and has a filter size of 67mm. The build quality of the lens is pretty good but not exceptional. It feels plasticky in the hand and its surface is prone to scratching. However, it's worth noting that the Sigma 16mm is sealed from water and dust. Not forget to mention that the lens features a non-rotating element and has a minimum focusing distance of 25 cm. Firstly, let's see how sharp the lens is. Mounted on the Panasonic GH5, it gives an equivalent focal length of 32mm if we talk in full frame terms. At f1.4, the lens is not as sharp as I expected, and if you inspect the corners, the situation is pretty much the same. Moreover, there is heavy vignetting, something that can be easily fixed if you enable the profile corrections. Thankfully, the Sigma lens is supported by the latest Lightroom version. Now, if we stop down at f2, the situation is much improved. The center of the frame is a lot sharper than before. The same goes for the corners, but still a tad soft. Vignetting is very minimal and distortion is very much improved if you enable the profile corrections. When we set the aperture at f2.8, the image gets very sharp in the center and a little softer in the corners. The darkening is pretty much non-existent. If you want to have the optimal image quality, you have to set the aperture at f4, where sharpness reaches its zenith not only the central part of the frame but also in the corners. Vignetting is almost non-visible. You will get similar results if you set the lens at f5.6. Generally, I am very satisfied with the performance of the Sigma 16mm lens. Okay, it's pretty soft at f1.4, but not unusably soft. Having such a large aperture can help you a lot when you shoot in dimly lit environments, especially with micro four thirds cameras which suffer in high ISO values. Being able to shoot at f1.4 can be a lifesaver. Moreover, be careful when you shoot portraits. Do not put your subject very close to the lens because you are going to have a lot of distortion. Try to compose from a distance so as to avoid distorted faces. The bokeh coming out of this lens is very pleasing to my eyes. The autofocus areas are rendered very smoothly. At f1.4 the bokeh balls are round with smooth edges. However, when you stop down, they start to be more polygonal. Anyway, that's me nitpicking a bit. I think that this lens's Achilles heel is chromatic aberration. As you can see in the following example, and when I set the aperture at f1.4, the problem is very prominent, especially around the edges of the letters and numbers. There is a distinct red line. If we stop down at f2, things get a little bit better, but we have to get to f4 to eliminate the problem. The lens handles flare with great success. Shooting directly at the sun is not an issue. Contrast levels are pretty good and flaring is minimal. Autofocus using the touchscreen of my Panasonic GH5 is good but not perfect. You can tap on the screen from one point to another if you want to rack focus. It's good but not 100% smooth. I also tested continuous autofocus by selecting AFC on the GH5. Then I pressed the quick menu button to get one area AF mode. At default AF settings, you can see that changing autofocus from point to point is pretty smooth, but sometimes it can be very slow. In the following video you can listen the noise produced from the motors trying to autofocus. I used Zoom H4n Pro to record the sound. You may of course use manual focus, but remember that it's focus by wire, so it's gonna be difficult to repeat focus from one subject to another. Focus picking may help you, but it will be difficult to be 100% accurate. Anyway, that was my opinion about the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens for micro four thirds cameras. I hope you find it useful. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for all the latest updates. Take care and I will see you in the next one.